Hello. We're not technically started yet, but I decided to go live just to kind of, keep you guys company for those who are in here right now. So how's everyone doing? So anyway, for anyone who is kind of new to Nelo or kind of wants to know more about us as developers, Nelo is everything you see on screen is made by just me and my fiance Michelle. We are a developer duo, and yeah, we work really hard and we love what we do, and we're very passionate about this project, no doubt. And I think one of the things we wanted to really show with this stream is really to let you kind of get to know us more as developers, just to kind of know, like, who we are, kind of what our motives are as far as being creative, and just kind of, this is how we work every day. So I'm really excited for you to kind of, see to really show you guys what we have. We've got a few announcements to make, and yeah, we have a few announcements to make, and we will be also working on some of the things for the next major update. So again, we always have our ears open for user feedback. We greatly appreciate everything that the communities have been kind of voicing about the game and making amazing suggestions to make things better, things more streamlined, and we greatly appreciate that. We greatly appreciate the love and enthusiasm for this project. So but yeah, let's see, what time is it? It's 3:36. But again, I decided to kind of start this early to just kind of keep you guys some company. So does anyone here have any questions?
Everyone is amazing.
Everyone is amazing.
Thank you all for your support.
Thank you. There's one thing I do want to mention. It's a friend of ours in Dallas, Texas. In fact, I'll send you the link to his Facebook page. But he has been doing a lot of kind of coverage and almost making like a little mini documentary about like our game and us as developers. And his channel's his entity is called The Art of Struggle, which is done by Opowoye Fatai and his partner, and I'm going to link that in a bit. I believe it's just a Facebook page. Alright, so I've linked the page, The Art of Struggle. Fatai's a really good person to be with. His channel is kind of more about like really about like the life of a starving artist or whatever, or people who have to kind of like really work hard to get through anywhere or whatever. People who like chase dreams and stuff like that, and do crazy things, and he definitely he's very excited about this project. He got to do like, you know, a bunch of like coverage. He got to interview us. It was really excited to do that, and he's currently like editing this little mini documentary, and I'm very excited to see that. So he has interviewed other really amazing, talented people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it's really cool. He's very transparent. He definitely speaks his mind, which is good. He definitely, you know, talks about like a lot of his concerns in, you know, industry, stuff like that, and just kind of like, you know, just kind of what it's like to be an artist. And so yeah, just check it out.
That link is broken.
It is?
Yes.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, that link is broken. I am so sorry. I wonder if it's because it's not showing like full URLs or something.
Sorry. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to.
Oh, there it goes again. Okay, it's, yeah, I don't know why Facebook links are not showing up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a stream in 18 minutes.
Okay, well, if you have a Facebook, I'm sure you do. I believe it's called At the Art of Struggle. I believe it's all one word, and the art. Okay, just make sure it's spelled correctly. Oh, God. Oh, sorry. I was about to swear, but let me remove that. I misspelled it.
We are going to Xbox.
That is true. To answer your question about going on to Xbox, we are developing our game for the Xbox One as of now. Console ports are currently not top priority, but they are definitely a high priority. Getting kind of the game finished first on PC is our #1 priority. Just because we don't have to do too much back and forth movement on ports and stuff like that. But yeah, we definitely, I mean, we kind of designed this game to really be made for the living room with like split screen support and stuff like that. You know, have really tight gamepad support. Like we really do want this title to be made for the living room. So yes, putting it on consoles is definitely a big deal for us. Alright, I should probably put my chat over on this side so I'm looking at you when I'm talking, looking at the group.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
Alright, perfect. Okay, so... Oh no. Okay, so I'm on. Chat's on this screen, so I'm actually looking at the camera as I'm seeing the feed. So thank you. You made my day too. So. Okay. Let's see, it's 3:44. I guess, I don't know. Should we go over some of the announcements now, Michelle, or?
Well, you said that you were gonna announce this stream at 4 p.m. So I still think that you should wait a little bit.
I agree. Alright.
Because that's when people are mostly gonna show up.
That's when people are gonna be expecting.
Right now you can just answer questions.
Yeah. Okay. Does anyone else in this chat have questions or? I guess for now, I mean, I could do like.
We could talk about a couple things if you want.
Yeah, I mean, we could maybe like at least do like a panel view of our little studio or something, you know, just kind of. Okay. I'm gonna have to grab this camera. It's gonna be a little. So, this is our studio. This is my desk. Yeah. Bunch of crazy stuff. I'm a Terminator fan, no doubt. I'm sure it's all over Nelo. There's another T800, and this is artwork from someone we know in Montana. That's a head sculpture of me, and I put a Dishonored face mask on top of it, and Michelle created this Unreal Engine knit hat. So this is actually used as my headset holder. So when I'm not wearing my headset, this guy wears it. This is like, you know, some music gear. I'm not the musician here. Kevin Greenlee is. He's the audio expert. This is just kind of more one to you know, playing music kind of allows me to vent, at least, you know, artistically vent when I'm ever getting art block doing graphic design or coding, stuff like that. And also, some of the sound effects in Nelo are used using some of this gear, such as like the melee attacks and stuff like that. So that's our restroom with the Kingdom Hearts poster. Here's our, I guess, an improvised diffuser, also slash influence shrine or inspiration shrine. Basically, if you have the question, what are your influences for Nelo? It's pretty much all right here. You know, in fact, this whole office, we, you know, surround ourselves by things that inspire us. From, oh, sorry, let me turn around. But yeah, you know, all these posters, you know, and we get some inspiration from some pretty unexpected sources too, such as Wizard of Oz, even like, you know, ancient Mayan mythology, or, you know, even mythologies of other cultures. There's a wide variety of influences. So this poster, this Nelo poster, my friend Julio Dela Cruz, who currently works at Picture Plane, printed this out and framed it as a gift. And so it's right above our TV, and it looks amazing up there. We also have like some absorption panels, and we also have like spaceships above me, and Michelle's got the cooler spaceships above her. She's got like TIE fighters and stuff, and X-Wings, and there's Michelle. And I just realized she has her on-air button lit up. I need to light up mine. Oops.
No, I haven't lit it up yet.
Oh, really? Well, mine's lit now, so there. That's our on-air button. on top of that speaker.
I'm gonna be going on live. I'm gonna be going live pretty soon.
I can't really reach over here, but there's a bunch of books. Try to keep books within arm's reach, especially, you know, good books like, for example, this is one I really like. It's called How to Cheat in Maya 2012. Even though it doesn't actually apply specifically to Maya 2012, what I like about this book is it's not just a how to push buttons Maya book. Like when you open it up, the first thing you see, animation principles. Like that's before it shows anything about the interface, it tells you about, you know, animation 101, a very like fundamental rule of that all animators need to know, you know, like squash and stretch, ease in, ease out, all that stuff, you know, and it shows you how to do it in Maya. But it, you know, like books like that I definitely like to keep within arm's reach. Got some books on like compositing, modeling, level design, though I can't really show it to you. I gotta put this book back. Okay.
I have a updated gumball machine.
And even some like you know, anatomy books, drawing books, things like that. You gotta have that stuff with you. Let's see, is there anything else in our studio? I mean, here's our
gumball machine.
This is my tower, so dusty old case. Our specs are pretty mid-range on our main towers. It's like a Devil's Canyon i5, 24 gigs of RAM, which is a little bit more than what you usually need just for gaming, but we also do a lot of rendering. Yes, she has a Darth Vader gumball machine. So Michelle and I's specs are completely identical. We have the exact same CPU, RAM, graphics card, motherboard, all that stuff. So again, like i5 CPU, a GTX 970, and that's kind of like what we set our recommended benchmark for Nelo, because we want to make sure Nelo runs well on mid-range computers, so we develop on mid-range computers. This little tiny tower right here, I don't know if you can see it, but that's we call that Black Magic, because it almost looks like a little spell book or whatever, and goes with Magic and Mirrors, goes with the name. So yes, the Halo Banshee. Sorry, I just saw the chat. This tower, Black Magic, is a little bit beefier in spec. It has less RAM, but it's got like more CPU, GPU power. I believe it's a GTX 1070. This is usually what we use to like take to events and stuff like that. It's much more portable, but now it's kind of currently the, you know, main like entertainment computer and all that stuff, and we just use like a little wireless keyboard on one of these little stations and stuff. There's like a sketchbook over there.
Going live pretty soon.
Awesome. Again. Oh, these are pretty cool. So next to the Wizard of Oz stuff, there's a poster. We made this for a Unreal DFW event, hosting Pete Hayes from Epic Games as a special guest. Pete Hayes did all the like weapons for pretty much every Epic Games title since the original Gears of War. So like he modeled the Lancers and pretty much all the guns in Unreal Tournament 3 and stuff like that. Incredibly experienced hard surface artist. And right below that is a this was from the Blue Void Studios, or who host the Unreal PDX, Nick Pfister and Jess, and they were Unreal Engine 4 beta testers, and we actually were in the Unreal Engine 4 beta, but under a company that wasn't our own, so we didn't really get one of these. I guess I'll tell you what company. It was for Primal Carnage Genesis. We created the like, if you've seen those trailers for Primal Carnage Genesis, the one of the T-Rex breaking out of the tank, and then the one of the Brachiosaurus. We made those in about 3 weeks using Unreal Engine. That was kind of like our first time really getting our hands on Unreal Engine 4. So, you know, we were still like using it when it was still kind of in an earlier stage. So anyway, Nick and Jess got us this as a gift. Like they had a spare one, and it's got Tim Sweeney's signature on it, which is really cool. And the Pete Hayes is also signed. So those are framed, and those are really sexy. So I really appreciate the things that Epic Games does to pretty much all the developers out there. Like they really do want you to succeed, and you know, they'll do everything they can to help you. So they're awesome. I'm incredibly grateful. So yeah, there's Michelle on her workstation. Awesome. Oh, there's a couple little towers. These are empty cases, but we're gonna turn them into render farms soon, especially when we build lighting for some of the bigger levels later down the road.
I'm starting to stream.
Awesome. Okay, it is 3:55. Anyway, that was the best I could do for a studio tour.
I got my 5-minute timer.
We'll be starting soon. So yeah, our humble little office, but this little bubble is our creative paradise. Just trying to adjust it. Okay, so like when I'm scoot up, still in frame. It's a good frame. Okay. It is 4 minutes till we start spilling the beans. It's not, I mean, don't get like too hyped up. It's nothing like the crazy things announced at GDC, which we watched the streams for, and it's really impressive, some of the stuff people are doing with Unreal Engine and just in general, like the amount of technology that's progressing, and seeing some of the artists out there, engineers, like just, you know, shooting past that uncanny valley to create like human likenesses and stuff in real time, and it's insane. I don't know if I could do anything like that, especially with the resources I have, but you know, I love doing what I do. I'm pretty excited though. This is my this is my first time ever doing a stream, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous.
Don't be.
Michelle's got a lot more experience doing live streams than I do, so.
Don't be nervous. And don't say that you're nervous.
Alright. I won't admit that I'm nervous then. I'm not nervous.
Yeah.
Is that denial, or is that
No.
just changing your state of mind?
You're excited.
Alright, so 3 minutes. Thank you. How do you pronounce your name? Peinu Le Wizard? I like that. Wizards are cool. Oh, this guy is right behind our webcam. This is a 3D print of one of our characters that'll be in Nelo. Bit of a spoiler, but yeah. Anyway. Kevin Greenlee's kick-ass music. Love it. Not gonna lie, Kevin's soundtrack is good cardio work. It's good for cardio.
It really is.
Feel like a Zenith warrior. And if you want to watch Michelle, she's doing her stream too. If you want to see her face, you can head to Twitch TV. I'll get the URL up. It's because unfortunately the name Deadly Frog was taken, so she has to spell it in Leet.
Leet is better.
Yep. Leet's from the streets, so.
What's up, everyone? What's up? Anything crazy going on? Anybody have anything really good planned for the weekend? Well, today I'm going to be working on achievement icons for Nelo.
Oh gosh, these
So
URLs aren't showing up.
Whenever you achieve something in Nelo, it's going to be awesome. Like this one, right here, that I got open right now. It's for when you just finished chapter 1, which is the prologue scene. It's pretty cool. And so that's what I'm going to be working on today during today's stream. And the music that I got playing right now is Kevin Greenley's music. Kevin Loudcore Greenley. Listen to him, he's awesome. So yeah. Woohoo! I'm excited. I got my nightmare shirt on today. I am a nightmare. Because I'm deadly. This is crochet around here. Pretty cool. Alright, so
if you want to see Michelle do her stream, search that name up on twitch.tv. And yeah, she'll be streaming there.
And then my fiance, right over there behind me, is streaming on YouTube right now. He's streaming some Nelo development as well. So, yeah, pretty entertaining. We're both streaming Nelo development today, so that's really exciting. Woo! We're good today. Nice and hyper. Hope everybody can hear me well.
Okay, I think it's ready for me to make some announcements on the what's going to be in the next major update for Nelo, which is going to be 0.1.2, which again is just really adding some of the stuff that we wanted to have in the first major update, but we needed to have something out sooner. So anyway, we're just kind of like finishing it up. It's still quite a bit of stuff. It may not be. It's not going to be as big as the 1.1 update, or 0.1.1 Alpha 1. It gets kind of confusing because it's like 1.0 is vanilla. But anyway, so yeah, it's on this paper. My little cliff notes. So yeah, I'm going to go over some of the things that we're doing for this. So let me show my computer screen, and let me open up Unreal. Already have it open. So we have 2 more endurance maps in the work. This time, instead of just 1 new endurance map, which we wanted to have like pretty much every endurance map to be kind of parallel with a chapter in the campaign. This one's based off Moon of Concealment, which is the mission where Jamar investigates the moon where the hive is, Night's Hive is burrowed inside of, and again, it's kind of, it's based on that. It's a completely different layout, but the backdrop is same as the campaign. So it's got this really cool, like, kind of purple and green color palette, and it's a little bit more it's definitely got a more out of this world feel than some of the kind of grungier levels in like the urban environments, and we wanted that. We wanted it to be kind of a little bit more alien and a little bit more out there, a little bit more surreal. So this map is also pretty enormous, but it's got again, we kind of want like each level to really have something unique as far as a design aspect. So in this mission we have like we got some lava pits, and then we got some like areas where you can like run on walls and stuff like that. Where in buildings and stuff you can run on walls in every building. However, you can't really run on rough surfaces like these rocks and stuff like that. So but you can like wall jump around these. So like the way you kind of want to think about it is think of like these are like platforms on walls, you know, like they're things that you can jump on. So again, like each little area is kind of broken up in these territories and arenas with various sizes and locations, to really kind of, you know, have different layouts to do your fighting, your combat in. So, and we wanted kind of more of the night side stocks to have more involvement in the actual level design itself. So we've built some like cliffs and bridges and things like that out of the using the night side stocks. Like here's a bridge right here and more right here. Again, like there may not be as variety of set dressing because it's mostly organic environments. But we use the same process as dressing all of our levels before. We kind of start out with just a white box underneath, which looks like, let me get it open, loading it right now. We do all our white boxing in 3ds Max because we're not really big fans of like using BSP and stuff like that. It's just until like Geometry 2.0 comes out. I don't know if this is really good lighting. I guess I could show like a wireframe or something. Nah. Or I could do maybe lighting only. Okay, yeah, that's good. But yeah, just kind of, you know, we block out the level max. I use some kind of, you know, sub-D tricks and stuff like that to make, you know, the environments a little bit more organic. And you know, when you have things blocked out, play around, test it, get a feel for it. You know, make sure like areas don't, you know, take too long to get to and stuff like that, and kind of make sure like hallways aren't too narrow in certain areas and stuff. And we try to make sure like, you know, some of these environments are a little bit varied in layout. Like we have, you know, these more narrow corridor areas so you can kind of do more like wall jumping type gameplay, a little bit more vertical gameplay. And then you have areas like this that are a little bit more open right here, so you can kind of do more like twin stick gameplay and stuff like that. And we wanted also to have kind of more ramps in this level, which you actually don't really see in Moon Concealment. You don't really see any kind of ramps used in the layout. So instead of having to use like, you know, the Zenith Thrash or wall jumping to get it to higher space, you can also like run up ramps. So that part's kind of cool. And we know that there's like ramps used in a lot of the Plenobond based levels with the you know, those like steel ramps and stuff. So like Iron Jungle, for example. But we kind of wanted some of that here. So anyway, like after we're done blocking it out, we basically set dress on top of it. We have like, you know, these rock meshes, we have these you know, platform meshes, and we have like the stocks, and we even have like these rubble piles to kind of close off some of the seams, so it doesn't like, you know, look too ugly or whatever. And then when all that's done, like add like terrain and, you know, foliage, which is like, you know, these little pebbles and stuff like that, you know. Anyway, so like when we set dress, you might have seen, if you've seen our last stream, Michelle Mortar was set dress. Deadly Frog, I'm sorry. Deadly Frog. Oh yes, I will definitely tell Kevin, good job on the music. And so so on her last on the last stream we did, she was dressing her portion of the level. Again, like we kind of break up, we assign ourselves like different so I don't know if it's showing up. I think I did like some of the finishing touches, but yeah, so like those are areas that I dressed, and then whatever hid was areas that Deadly dressed, which I believe were over here. Yeah, So she dressed. So that's how we start. Is we have like this kind of, you know, very primitive looking geometry, and then we kind of dress, you know, things over it. So that's kind of our process. Hold on a moment. Sorry, that was like some reference for achievements. That's another thing that we're working on is Deadly Progress. Right now, she's working on achievement icons. So we're just kind of finding, you know, specs, requirements, make sure like, you know, dimensions are good, things are, the icons read well at different sizes and stuff like that. So
I think this one's a good one.
okay. Okay, no, that's not it. Here, let me dig it up on our dev chat. Okay, so here it is. So like after blocking out, this is kind of how we color code. Since I like already had like this chunk already made, I was like, okay, Deadly, you work on these parts and stuff like that, you know. And then she was also working on some. She's also working on it on character modeling for some of the Act 2 content. So that's kind of why she doesn't have as much work on this, because she's also working on stuff needed for even like further down the road content, such as like character armor and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of how we plan. We kind of color code. Oh, okay, we work on these rooms and stuff like that, and then we break it up into sub levels. So I'm allowed to kind of, you know, work on my level as she works on her sub level simultaneously, and we don't have any kind of like SVN conflicts or anything like that. So that's kind of how we do it. So anyway, that's Clipped Patron, which I'm excited for you guys to play when the update is out. So let me show you the next map called, let's see, this one's called Pale Nova, and it's based off of the mission White Blazar. And we definitely like the idea that the Pale Nova is not the White Blazar. Well, at first it looks like the interior of the White Blazar. In fact, it's like, you know, that's kind of where we started with. But the layout, you know, some of the things are a little bit different than the White Blazar, you know. Like, for example, the engineering room, we have a lot more catwalks and stuff like that, a lot more interesting stuff going on as far as the level design goes. There's a lot more, you know, much more condensed and a lot more, I guess, dynamics, you know, a lot more cover, a lot more things, and again, like each area is kind of its own territory, and make, you know, each layout feel a little bit different. Got more of these things up here, got more of the floating platforms, and then what's also really cool is we originally like wanted more of the ship to be explorable, but because like it's a lot of these corridors to get to, you know, the different territory points, we decided to really cut down. So we do have a moving elevator, and it's moving up constantly, up and down, like every 8 seconds or so. You can't go down here. This area is blocked off. So in fact, this is actually the block, or where the area blocks off. Where the elevator starts is actually right here. So if you stay right here, you don't get squished by the elevator, but you do get trapped in for like a second. So anyway, it'll just take you up. It won't take you to this level, but it'll take you up to here, which you can get to one of the territories, which again, much more condensed, much tighter play space. We blocked this area off because we didn't want, you know, to get too far back. We didn't want the player to go too far back. We wanted the fighting area to be pretty much right there. However, there's another territory that you have to like time yourself on the elevator, and you will, you know, you have to wait for the elevator to come back down if you miss it. So anyway, in this area, you know, it's a little bit more open, not as cluttered. until you get to right here, which I think this is the actual combat space. Again, has a bit of more of like a warehouse feel and stuff like that, you know. Try to make sure that there's still like plenty of spacing and padding between boxes to where it's crammed but not too crammed, especially for how fast you're moving. And then the other area, which is down here, you can actually go down this corridor area. So I believe this area that I'm standing in right now is a territory, which again, it's kind of like this little gigantic column in the middle, and as you have like a lower level and an upper level, again, super like tight spaces, but this is like a good area to do a bunch of wall running and stuff like that, you know, a lot more vertical gameplay compared to some of the more open areas to do I guess like typical shmup gameplay. And then so that's that area, and then the last territory is this right here. Again, it's like very similar to the White Blazer, but we put a lot more catwalks and stuff, and we closed this elevator off because now it's completely unusable because there's a gigantic catwalk in the way. And then there's like, you know, kind of a little pit, but you can at least, you know, jump up on these crates to get out of there. Yeah, it's not too complicated of a layout, but it's definitely enough for you to kind of, you know, try different things, try different styles. And we try to have like some areas more open and more simple, and then some areas like, you know, much more complicated with a lot more like walls and stuff like that to do kind of crazy things. And so anyway, that's the Pale Nova. So a fun fact about the White Blazer and the Pale Nova together is the white box of this ship does fit perfectly inside of the exterior shell that you see in like the cutscenes and stuff like that, or even like on Solace when you see the gigantic ships overhead. Like we really like that idea that, you know, that the actual layout of the ship's interior is believable and makes sense and stuff like that. So the original ship design was very different than what it looks like now. I'll try to bring it up actually. Alright, so this was the original design, and we liked it at the time, but it was like, it just like many of the other like Tonogai and Tech and stuff, especially like the way Nelo's suit looks, and even like the Nelo suit has gone through a ton of design changes over time. This was like back in 2014 or something when we made this, so it was like, you know, much earlier when we started. Again, like I guess kind of more wanted a little bit more of like a Star Destroyer like type Greebly design and stuff, you know. But it just didn't. Just kind of started. The more and more assets we started making, the more and more this started looking out of place and generic. So we just kind of stopped liking it. Like, you know, with especially when you see like ships like this, or, you know, where's that other one? Even like the way the Hands of Aphelion look and stuff like that, like wanted something much more like streamlined, a little bit more almost like an aquatic creature or whatever. So we ended up with something a little bit more like. So this is kind of what the ship looks like now, you know. Again, it's just got that more, you know, aquatic crustacean, almost like a prehistoric fish or something, you know. Almost kind of looks like a dragon. It's even got like a long tail and stuff like that, which I definitely fits the, you know, definitely fits these assets a lot more than this does. So, but the challenge was to, you know, when we changed the look, we had to make sure, because we already built like the entire White Blazer mission. We had like all the scripting, the level design, the set dressing, like all that was already done before making the decision. Hey, you know, let's change the look of the ship. So like I had to make sure that the outside was still able to fit the inside. So That was kind of a fun, you know, technical challenge. It's just some of the things we do. But that's what's great about like working with Michelle is like we can kind of make crazy decisions like that. And we can just, you know, turn on a dime and you know, be very flexible. We often describe Nelo's gameplay as kind of how we develop, because it's like, you know, you're gotta be fast, agile, and constantly shifting gears, and that's kind of what we do every day. So.
Yep.
All right, so that was Pale Nova. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is, and in fact I actually already mentioned it earlier, but the next update is we're gonna have achievements into Steam, and Michelle's currently creating all the graphics for the achievements. So if you want to see what she's doing, please look at her Twitch channel, which is Deadly Frog, spelled with a 3 and a 0.
I don't bite.
She doesn't bite.
Hard.
So, let's see. So I guess the other thing I need to talk about is we're gonna have replication, or this next update. We're gonna have online multiplayer for endurance. So in the current build you can get on Steam, you have split screen multiplayer, which again, like, we're aiming for that, you know, kind of a couch friendly experience with this title. But we also want to be able to have this kind of, like, you know, cooperative experience online. So we've had network code for this game for a long time, and we've had it working pretty well, but ever since we made a ton of different design changes over time, the replication side of things just kind of got a little outdated. So basically, another thing that we're working on for this update is just kind of making sure all that's, you know, working with many of the different design changes that we've added, such as even like something as simple as, like, you know, manting off of ledges, making sure that that's able to replicate over servers. You know, wall running, wall sliding, you know, all the changes that we've done to the movement, all the changes we've done to the sounds, you know, everything. We gotta make sure it replicates over a network. So it's another thing we've been, you know, working on. So again, it's a lot of really, you know, tedious stuff, just kind of going back through the game code and just, you know, seeing, you know, what works, what doesn't. And later tonight, we're actually gonna have, Michelle and I are gonna have a test session starting at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will be playtesting Nelo multiplayer on our own computers, not on split screen, just to make sure things replicate correctly. Anyway, so stay tuned for that. So anyway, I believe that's the last announcement I'm going to make for now, for some of the things that you're going to see in the next major update. So again, it's not as big as the you know, 0.1 or 0.1.1 update, but it's still, it's got a lot of, you know, very important things that we still need to have in our game sooner and stuff like that. So anyway, I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm going to work on today.
You got a question?
I do.
Can you answer that one?
Actually, the slow motion is, it's triggered in the world, which means if player 1 triggers slow motion, player 2 will also be in slow motion. We thought about, like, having kind of, like, you know, an area and effect thing, but that's something that we're still willing to kind of, you know, experiment more with, and that's actually one of the things that we need to figure out in replication, is because it is a I believe right now we're just using the slow-mo console command in the game code, rather than, you know, actually replicating time dilation across all clients, which is one of the things I still need to do. So when we do test that, you just reminded me, that's one of the things that's not going to replicate, so slow motion is not going to work in this test session. But we do want it to work when it gets in your hands. So, in fact, just expect everything to be broken when we do this test session. So, yeah. So, anyway, back to, where is Photoshop?
Just muted my microphone so I can take a drink.
Okay.
So,
Oh, Photoshop's
how's
not
everybody
opening.
today? If you're just joining in, I'm working on achievement icons for Nelo. And that just started the achievement icon for when you finish chapter 6, which is the last one in the first act. I want to get the sun in this one.
Oh gosh, Photoshop's freaking out.
There we go. Right there looks good. That looks perfect in my opinion. What do y'all think?
Okay, I think Photoshop closed. Okay, I'm opening it again.
And if you're wondering what's going on in the background, my fiance is doing his own stream.
I guess if you want to figure out, like, you know, how to get slow motion in game code, I can walk you a little bit through that. Okay. But anyway, before I do that, I wanted to kind of explain what I'm going to be doing on, this stream tonight. So I was originally, because one of the things I wanted to do for this update is to have, and I know it's a very common request among fans, and I really want this, but I'm a little bit blocked on how to tackle it, so I won't be doing this today. Which that thing was to have a training mode, like a playground, where you can just kind of like a consequence-free environment. Where you can just kind of practice. You can, you know, set yourself to God mode. You know, you can adjust difficulties on the fly, things like that. I guess spawn whatever enemies you want. Something to have like a ton of customization, so you can really just kind of, you know, get your feet wet in a consequence-free environment. But that might be a little bit too complicated as of now. So I don't know if this is something we can get out by the next update, but this is still something that we want to have in our game. So. So today, actually this was something I've been thinking about for a while, which was the railgun. I wanted to kind of add something special for the railgun, because right now it's just a dedicated sniper rifle, and which isn't very practical for, you know, awesome combat, since most enemies don't really take much damage.
What's going on today?
Yeah, since most enemies don't really require much damage, the railgun doesn't really have much use in most situations. So I wanted to kind of have a little bit of an effect that still like takes a lot of skill or whatever, like, you know, like a really cool property for the sniper rifle or the railgun to have. And basically what I want it to do is, okay, so here's a night scythe projectile, okay, and here's your railgun, which I guess I need to aim it better, but basically if you shoot night scythe projectiles, or any kind of projectile, oh gosh, probably do it a different layer than that. Okay, so basically, like, we want kind of a cool reward if you, like, you know, shoot rockets out of the air or something like that. So if you fire at a night scythe projectile, that projectile will explode, but instead of just having kind of a standard explosion radius or whatever, which it will have initially, but it'll also kind of explode a bunch of ray trace rails out of that point. So you have like kind of a good chance of like hitting a bunch of different Night Scythe enemies around you, and do just a ton of damage. But you know, again, like this is gonna be something like it's still kind of a very vague idea. To be able to kind of get it to really work mechanically means we actually have to, you know, test it and see if it actually works. So anyway, but still, I definitely love the idea, and I definitely want it to be kind of something that the railgun can be used for besides just a sniper rifle. So, and then another thing is like and I want it to even like work with your own projectiles. So here's just a normal rocket launcher rocket, which when those impact on anything, they basically spawn a fan of baby rockets out of the impact point. You know, again, a very much a bullet hell type thing. You know, so basically, I want the when the rail hits that, it's going to do the exact same thing as the rocket launcher, but ray tracified. Instead of being a projectile, it's now like instantaneous. So it's like, you know, so if you can like shoot your own rockets or whatever, you'll like accelerate them. And then like the bouncer gun, for example, the one that shoots the green projectiles, they bounce off of walls and stuff. So it'll be the exact same thing. It'll be, you know, it'll basically like zigzag across walls and ricochet everywhere, but it'll be at like ray trace speed. So that's what I'm going to work on today. I'm going to do that in C++, using both the weapon class and the projectile class. So that's what I'm going to do. Hope it goes well. Alright, so let me open up VS. I'm going to open up the weapon class and projectile class. Okay.
So for doing Omnifire, I think I'm gonna be taking that on that.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the header, because I want a variable that lets you know that this is a railgun and it can do this cool thing whenever you fire it. So it's gonna be a U property.
Maybe have some guns in this shot. You know what? Yeah.
Okay, so I made that. Now, let's see, so, oh, that's projectile, I'm on the wrong class.
This is a really good soundtrack. So how is everybody today? Anybody got anything interesting for the weekend going on?
Okay. So this is the function that actually, you know, initiates a firing on the base weapon class. If it's like a projectile, it'll shoot a projectile. If it's a ray trace weapon, it'll ray trace. But yeah, it's all handled on this function, which is simulate firing, and which is not the same as fire press, fire release, because like, you know, again, we have like fire cooling, stuff like that. Like certain weapons have a limited fire rate, like the railgun, for example. It has an increased fire cool time. So we're going to start right here, which is simulate firing. So I'm going to go down the code and find the area where I have the ray tracing going on, which I believe is all these grayed out, commented out stuff. I usually try to keep these things open in case I ever want to bring old code back from the dead. Or like this, for example, like, you know, drawing a debug line. Sometimes I just want to turn that on. So, okay. It's a ray traced. Not a hammerhead, not a shotgun. I'm gonna slip an Elsif right here. I believe that's the name of the variable. I don't remember the name of the variable I just made. Yep, it's called Ribbon. Okay. Looks like a bunch of the ray trace stuff. I mean, I might just, you know, like I could just, you know, just keep the same ray trace code here, but I kind of want to. I'm gonna copy it because I'm gonna do some things a little bit differently with this. Which this may not be the most efficient way to do it, but whatever. Which basically I need to add a ray trace channel on here to be able to hit projectiles. Because right now the normal ray trace doesn't have that. Where did I set the, oh, here it is. So this is the channel that, this ray trace uses, which is projectile. You know, I kind of want, because the thing is, we do have a channel for weapons. We decide to use, projectile, for like ray trace, we use projectiles the same channel as projectiles, because it's obviously something that a weapon fires. We use weapon as a separate, channel because we use it for like the melee attacks and swords and stuff like that, you know, as kind of a different form of hit detection. Okay, so I'm gonna. Oh, the little messages that teach you controls on PC in the beginning are the old key bindings. Are you talking about that on the Solace level? Thank you so much for mentioning that. I could take a look at that right now. I thought I've updated these. Oh, the C and V for melee attacks. Yeah, that's outdated. I believe it's E and R now, so. Thank you so much for spotting that. And R hold. Oh gosh, that's embarrassing. I'm so sorry about that. Thank you so much for spotting that and pointing that out. I remember someone else like mentioned that there was an issue with the mouse and keyboard on the Steam chat, which was whenever you let go of Omnifire while you're holding down the fire button, you unfire, so you have to like left click again. That's something I've also just fixed yesterday, because I just realized like what he meant by that. It's like we typically don't test with the mouse and keyboard, but we know, like, you know, we want this game to be very playable with a mouse and keyboard. So thank you for finding those issues. Alright, so I think that's it for that. Let me open up. Telefence is outdated, that's okay. Probably close on Nelo. Oh, it's not even called Nelo projectiles, what?
How is everybody? Looks like I got some more viewers now. I say hi. Anything new? Right now I'm working on, hi. How are you today?
Okay, so...
But yeah, right now I'm working on these achievement icons for Nelo. And this one's just an idea for an achievement called Who's Up for Shmups. And this is an achievement for... Okay, Who's Up for Shmups? When you kill 200 enemies in Omnifire, when you're in your top-down view. So, yeah. That's what this is. It's just an idea for right now.
Got another function for this.
And then
I'm gonna have a ray trace function just dedicated for this.
1.
So I don't have to run simulate fire because there's a ton of gates on simulate fire.
Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 5, and Chapter 6. And then, yeah, and a couple more that I've been working on is, let's see, grab this, where when you kill 50 enemies by throwing them, coolness. And I got this one. Basically, can't get hurt. You can't get hurt if you stay in your bubble. Basically, that one is if you activate level 3 shield 100 times. Which is pretty hard to do in Nelo.
I'm in the wrong class.
Activate your third shield.
Michelle's talking about one of the achievements called you can't get hurt if you stay in your bubble, which is you activate a level 3 shield 100 times.
Right now is the,
and that's actually a reference to the
awesome
roll safe
Kevin
name, so it's like
Greenlee.
yeah.
He is
Stay in your
totally
bubble.
Awesome.
You'll be safe.
How do you say that? Sassenstein? Sassenstein? I like that name. I like it. I like it a lot.
Projectile.
I'm probably gonna butcher it, and I'm sorry.
Okay, here we are.
And I don't mean to. I think I want to work on Burly Brawler right now. Burly Brawler is when you kill 200 enemies using melee attacks.
I'm gonna close you for now. You're kind of in the way. Okay, so basically I'm gonna take the ray trace
it's pretty
code
cool and entertaining.
from
Crazy. Stretch. I am wearing a shirt that says Nightmare. Nightmare Before Christmas. Hey.
just anything be a
Let's
reference.
press crochet.
I hope not. Whatever, I'll find out. You know, actually, I do want an input for the ray trace, which is let's see.
Okay, so let's see.
So that'll drive the direction of the trace is this input in aim, so I can, you know, kind of set it to be whatever I want to.
I'm just looking for something that has melee in it.
So go back up here. Nail gun.
Maybe take a take an image from a GIF. All these are been uploaded anyway. is how I should do the melee one. Anybody in here got
Start
any
with
ideas?
12 or, you know what? Let's just have a float in here. Or
Lucky
no,
yourself.
not floating it.
This is Nelo. Some gifs that we made. There we go. There's some nice ones. Okay, so
Start
we
with
just
12. Okay.
new layer, Rochelle. Never on the big background. Ugh.
And here we go.
Oh, that one was a good one.
Oh, don't be sorry, man. Like, I really thank you for doing that. I'm the one who should be sorry. That was a huge mistake on my end, so thank you.
Oh yeah. You know what?
I don't know if I could throw that in a hotfix though. That part kind of stinks. I apologize too much. But yeah, I don't know if I could throw that in a hotfix. Let's see.
Apples.
That's why you're acting up.
Apples.
Just a moment. I gotta be on standby real quick.
On Discord.
Alright, sorry about that. Just had a little technical difficulty. We're back now, so. Yeah, Loretta, I absolutely agree with the tail. And don't be sorry we're talking too much. I like the interaction. It's good. It's good for us. But yeah, absolutely agree with the tail. I think it's a good like indication of follow through and stuff like that. Helps really give the character a sense of speed. And almost makes your character almost look like a fish or an aquatic creature or something. Very streamlined, like a shark. So okay, back to this.
Right here, I'm just trying to find an idea for. Let's try that again. So right here, I'm just trying to get an idea on how I should do this one about melee.
Okay, so
yeah. I like that. I like this one.
this gives splashing a value when
It's very visible.
Okay, so is this misspelled or? Oh, that's what it was. Capitalization. C++ is picky sometimes, but that's okay. Case sensitive. You know that like that's kind of like why a lot of people are really wanting a C# or much more simplistic coding language for Unreal.
For the, achievement icon.
But I don't really have much opinion on that debate because I mean everyone has their own preferences and stuff like that. It is what it is to me. So.
Brawler. That's what it's called.
Alright, so.
Kill 200 enemies using just melee.
Okay, so. Oh, there we are.
Oh yes, the downfall. This one's my favorite. Not actually called the downfall, but that's what I like to call it. How goes after?
Okay, so this one's a little bit, so I just kind of made an early, like, little strip of code, just to kind of see where we're at. I don't really know exactly what's going to happen right now. I don't know if, the ray trace bullet is going to actually react to projectiles. That's kind of my only, uncertainty right now, so, I'm going to compile real quick, and then just see what the heck happens. When that's done, I'm going to, make a lab and shoot some projectiles, maybe just have the world just, you know, shoot some night-sight projectiles and see if I can, you know, hit them or something. Shooting gallery practice. So, hey Hex, how's it going? It's good to see you. Or hear from you. See you're texting. It's good to see you.
Hi!
So, I guess to kind of anyone else who's joined, to kind of catch everyone up, we are, we have announced kind of we've showed off some of the new things we've been working on for the next major update, and we will be, and we're also kind of like working on some of these new things for the next major update. Michelle is working on, or Deadly Frog, she's working on achievement icons, and I am working on a special property for the railgun, which is when you shoot a projectile out of the air, it'll explode with a bunch of ray traced rails. So it's gonna be insane, but it might be crazy overpowered or whatever. It's gonna be probably insanely out of balance at first, but that's why we play test it to make sure it works. So yeah, we're doing great, and we're really excited to do more of this stuff. Stream's going well so far. It's 5:01. Michelle, do you wanna keep running the stream till 8?
Sorry, what, sweetie?
Would you like to keep running the stream till 8? Like just kind of, you know,
work until 8?
Yeah, keep working till 8.
Sure, I don't mind.
It's going by a lot faster than I thought it would, so. Because we were originally gonna stream for 2 hours, but we're.
Alright, so.
We'll get more done.
Here's the video. Just make it full screen. When you first get to the Gorgon Skull, here he is. He's just ultimate badass. Oops, sorry. But
you can say bad also on camera. It's teen rated.
I'm just trying
just
to
don't drop F-bombs.
when you defeat
And if I do, I apologize in advance.
It has to be something freaking beast. It makes such a good feeling when
forever to compile.
It's like the best feeling in the world. Let's see. A couple ideas.
So I don't even know how much like OBS is affecting this. I mean, this is my first time ever doing a stream like this, so I don't know what will go wrong. I guess it's just being a sluggish build today. Whatever.
I got a couple things going sluggish myself over here.
Yeah. Yeah, OBS is using 25% CPU.
Thank you for letting me know where those were at, Matt. Evan, whatever you want me to call you.
Gnarly.
Gnarly. Okay, so let's see.
Hex, I know you're you definitely like doing.
Hex is
yes, Hex is in our chat.
Hi, Hexy.
Frog says hi.
Hi, Hexy. How are you?
Anyway, so I know like you're into like kind of like the audio type stuff. I'm not an audio expert at all, but I don't know if you're like into like Korg or stuff like that. But this is one of the things I've used to make some of the sound effects for our game. It's a Chaosillator, you know, so it's hooked up to these monitors right now, but it was this instrument I used for some of the melee attacks for our game. Like I just like took like, you know, 100 different takes on this, and then I mixed it into the existing melee attacks to kind of make, you know, because originally it was just like one sample, it was just like a zoom, And then, but it's like, you know, you hear that a bunch of times. It's really repetitive. I did kind of randomize the pitch and stuff like that, but even still, it just sounded like the same thing over and over again. Okay, so we do have an error on this, by the way. But anyway, so like with this, yeah, it sounds pretty cool. But like you can, you know, it sounds more natural, more organic, and it actually sounds like, you know, a bunch of slashing or whatever, you know. So like when you do all this like crazy glow stick combos and stuff, it's not too insane. Okay, so back to this. It's not a member. Okay, that makes a ton of sense because collision response is. That may not work either, because I think projectiles is kind of its own.
Save and save often.
So yeah, Deadly Frog and I are more. She's making art assets for the achievements, and
this is a song that
working
plays
on this
when you fight the Gorgon Skull.
code for the railgun. But yeah, it's like do 3D art on occasions. I haven't been able to do as much 3D art as I'd like to recently. Michelle's been doing all the 3D art because I'm kind of spending more time pounding code, and it does get kind of tiring, but. Yeah, but whatever. It's kind of fun to sometimes, like, you know, if you're tired doing coding and stuff like that, you can kind of like jump to something else, jump to level design, jump to, I don't know, whatever you want. We try to make our tasks a little bit varied, so we don't get too burnt out doing the same thing over and over. There's times I get burnt out doing 3D art. Oh, there we go again. Shoot. Oh, okay.
Merlin.
I'm a derp.
Merlin.
Apples? Just a moment, Michelle. I gotta. Oh, that. Yeah, IntelliSense isn't working right now, especially with OBS. So I can't really see any errors before I compile. Does anyone have any questions or about Nelo, about what we're doing right now? If you want to know what we're having for dinner, what's up, Michelle? I think we are gonna have chicken for dinner. Yes. Chicken is very good.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's okay. This is taking a while to compile.
Okay.
Is there any other tasks going on? Steam doing
I'm
anything?
back. I apologize about that. Woohoo.
You're closing Firefox tabs.
Woohoo. So, let's see. The next one I want to do
There.
is Dance with the Devil in Pale Moonlight. I love that one.
This silly thing again.
Dance with the Devil in Pale Moonlight.
Okay, you know what? I'm setting up the collision response thing wrong. And the name of the functions that collision response has.
Make sure you guys
Just look this stuff up. So until IntelliSense catches up and be like, oh yeah, these are what I do. Okay, so
we are the creators. This hand code.
oh, there it goes.
I'm head bobbing in your video, Matt.
Nice.
I'm head bobbing in your video.
Okay, so I actually have to like get the actual number of the Game Trace channel. Ugh, that's so annoying. I don't even know what it is for projectiles.
But that is that. I mean, there's more. I don't feel like spoiling it for you. So that, when you defeat him, that's the achievement I'm working on right now.
Okay, so it's game channel 13.
It's called Dance.
It will probably work now. Hopefully. It'll crash and burn.
Hope that wasn't too much of a lag for people when you showed that. Boot. Boogers.
Okay, we got an issue. Be right back. Alright,
Okay.
we're back.
Entertaining this. I'm getting little issues around here. So again, I'm gonna be working on Dance with the Devil in Pale Moonlight. That's what this achievement is gonna be called. Okay,
Okay. While this is compiling, I want to show you something a little funny. Maybe not. I don't know.
Get this guy.
I want to show you like a little cartoon that kind of describes, you know, our career in 15 seconds, but it might be a copyright infringement.
It works!
That's an L, not a 1. Matt. Okay. Let's copy that.
That looks good. I think that looks perfect. Dance with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight. Oh. And then here's what I got for to drop the bass. Who wants to see my sunglasses? I think they're pretty cool. If anybody wants to see them.
The design. Okay, so Loretta, the design for Nelo's helmet, it's gone through a lot of changes.
Everything's cool.
The
I love them.
I believe the first helmet design, which is actually now the Z Surge, as an unlockable helmet, which is
I see things a
this
lot
one in
better
the
when I
very
read
right
this.
here. That was the original. Like if you see like some of the older trailers, even like in the
Completely dark when
Kickstart during the
it's in
Kickstarter
normal.
campaign, this was Nelo's helmet.
Once I go to the side, I can see everything like perfectly.
I guess we kind of got tired of it. Like it's just kind of a bald head or whatever. So
Those are not good to work with.
so we decided to kind of like
You're
put
on
like
screen.
metallic feathers and like a cool
You're on
visor,
screen.
and he's got like kind of like these
Right.
metal chops and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of different influences. One of them is actually an Aztec eagle warrior, since they have like the feather headdresses and you know
Kind of
like an
weird
eagle beak
choice.
and stuff like that. So we almost like to kind of like call our game as like a
Okay, so
out of this
what's
world
next
cybernetic
on the list?
Aztec thing, you know, because there's like a lot of aesthetic references to Aztec and Mayan
So I got Dance with the Devil.
architecture and mythology and stuff like that. So anyway, so we wanted that kind of like a eagle warrior look on Nelo.
Hoorah. So what's
As
next?
far as like you know everything kind of like the rest of his body and stuff like that, you know, definitely a lot of different things. gosh, what am I doing wrong?
Nothing. You're doing everything right.
Oh no. I swear if I'm just like, oh my gosh. Made an extra, or I took one of my brackets off. One of my functions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Doggone it. Doesn't help that these compile times are ridiculous right now.
Caught me drinking my coffee. I'm just trying to make myself. Nobody has to hear that. But here is the husband. It's beautiful. My desk is moving. Climax the day. The butter to light. Did you talk about the log?
What's up?
Did you talk about the logs?
The log?
The logs, the mission logs.
Yes, it did. I can go back over that again. Oh wait, no, I have not. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh, thank you. That means a lot to us, you know. Loretta mentioned like how well our game is optimized. Again, you know, when we did the studio tour, I don't know if you saw our computer specs, but like we intentionally work on mid-range PCs. The only thing that's like a little bit higher is the amount of RAM for like render times and stuff like that, compiling things like that. But as far as like, you know, graphics cards, CPU, and even like, you know, what kind of hard drive we use, it's pretty mid-range stuff because we want our game to run on a lot of different machines. So it means a lot to us to know that it's able to run really well. And we've done a lot of different trickeries to make sure like we can get like, you know, hundreds of bullets on screen and not, you know, chug. So what now? Ray trace. Oh gosh. So I found that extra bracket. It was just down there. That's good. That's really good, Hex. I know, like I know some people have encountered like issues that are like, I guess, system related, but you know, I still try to like go out of my way to help troubleshoot and stuff like that. You know, we don't look like the people who have a tech support team, so it's like we have to be our own tech support. So we'll definitely do those kind of things when we can. So.
Little grow as possible. Oh, it has to be a square.
This compiling is so slow. I want to show like some of this like stuff in action. I really do. I don't want to bore you guys just looking at this. I guess
You're
I could.
not boring anybody.
So here's a cool little collection of videos. Most of these videos are on YouTube, but if you want to kind of like see these uncompressed, like we have like the trailer, we have a bunch of gameplay clips, we have even the update trailer. You can get all that stuff on our website if you go to www.nelogame.com/press or press kit, I believe it's /press.
He's the cocky one.
Let me triple check. And there's two files. There's a press kit, which just has kind of a straight up description of our game. And you can just like click on this to go back to the main site. But you'll be able to you can download the press kit, which just has like kind of brief description about the game, brief description about our company, and then but press videos, which is like many of the main promotional videos that we've uploaded on our own YouTube channel, but it's not compressed to hell like YouTube does. So like if you really want to watch like the early access reveal trailer or some of the gameplay footages that's not so harshly compressed by YouTube, you absolutely can. It's all there. So anyway, it looks like our thing finished, so finally. Keep hitting a bunch of stone blocks on that. So is there any way you can get that Nelo poster in our room? We definitely want to like create merch and stuff like that, or even I don't know how practical it is right now. We still need to make a lot of the backer rewards for some of the higher up Kickstarter backers.
That one right there is
including like the 3D prints and stuff like that, t-shirts and stuff like that. But after that,
sorry, I saw that. That was gross.
I think the more we'll kind of learn about setting up some form of merch. I don't know how crazy we can go with that. I guess we're still kind of baby stepping, but I would love to be able to like have Nelo posters in people's rooms and stuff like that. Julio, who did the printing, did a really good job, and he's a lot more experienced at like setting up images for prints and stuff like that than I am. I mean, he does that kind of stuff professionally. So I can talk to him. Maybe he might know some people about at least like mass producing posters or whatever.
Okay, I like that one. The lock icon. Lock icon is perfect. Copy.
Okay, so anyway, something I didn't mention earlier in one of our announcements, this is another feature that's going to be in the next update, are these little guys. They're basically, they're collectible Easter eggs, and they're kind of for people who want to know,
and I'm going to put it...
they're people who really want to get more, who want to kind of really dig more into like the Nelo lore and stuff like that. They're basically little mission logs. So these are the ones you find on Plimniba, which are like on the like dead soldiers of attempted survivors of the Aurora Dwarf. And when you mouse over them, they have like just 3 paragraphs or something, and you'll follow these characters throughout. Like it says by command reveal of the Aurora Dwarf, this mission log has been archived to the assigned personnel, which means you're going to be like kind of following these characters indirectly and kind of seeing what their story is and kind of like how they tried to survive Plimniba, and you might know a little bit more about the kind of their encounterings trying to survive the planet, and also many of their conflicts. So again, like we really do want to have a lot of backstory for the fans and stuff like that. People who want to really dig more into the lore. So that's what all these are. And then, but on the moon mission, we decided to have them in the form of terminals. On the White Blazer mission, they're in the form of terminals. So like on Jamar's ship, he can come up to some of these terminals that have the blinking on them, and they'll have, you know, like they'll have kind of more things like, you know, you have Jamar's bio. You have a little bit more about like kind of, you know, their archived history. Like this is kind of Jamar describing his life growing up on Solace and stuff like that. I believe this one just kind of talking about the Zenith program, the development of the Zenith program, all the different like iterations and prototypes they had before ultimately coming up with the Hands of Aphelion, to be able to like wield 4 guns at once and stuff. And then when you're on the moon mission, you see like these little Night Scythe pods that are holding, you know, again like kind of old archived information of the Tonogaians. Like you kind of a little bit know more about Tonogaian history before the Night Scythe outbreak or the harvest or whatever. You can talk about their ancient cultures and stuff like that, and really, really kind of, you know, really dig into the lore, their government. Government culture, the development of the Night Scythe, just all that kind of stuff. Like if you really want to get into that, a lot of that lore and backstory, these are kind of something you can unlock and kind of find throughout the level, and you'll be able to access them in your profile menu right here in the mission logs. So when you unlock them, you'll be able to access the different ones. So that'll be very exciting. And again, like, you know, as of now, like, much of the story in the campaign is still, like, you know, there's still not a lot going on, or still not a lot to be shown yet. Am I cutting out? Anyway. Jeez. Now, the amount of like CPU OBS uses is messing with my game, like running game logic and all that stuff. Anyway, so I wanted to test the railgun. Guess I finally got that working. My wiring's really crazy. This is just a level blueprint script, so. Okay. An actor pool even on? We do have an actor pool. Okay. Something that scares me. He sees me shooting. I don't even know if it's registered. I don't even know if it's even firing. Oh my gosh. I broke everything.
You always break everything.
Okay, you're firing.
He breaks everything.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Also, another mistake of mine is I don't have railguns to actually set to do that in the blueprint actor, so. Okay. Here's my question: is that Preplin's almost acting like it's a projectile? It is a ray trace. Oh gosh. I wonder if it's colliding with itself. Oh no, it's firing. That's firing. No, I'm not gonna mess with him. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fire a rocket in the air and shoot it with the railgun. Oh, you know what? I don't even have... Okay, so I can't fire rockets because I don't have rockets cached in the actor pool, so let me do that real quick. Oh, what's going on here?
What is going on?
My rocket launcher's not firing.
I'm sorry.
It's alright.
You breaking everything?
Yeah, I'm breaking everything.
I can't see if you were breaking everything.
Okay, so... Okay, it does use the rocket projectile. Why are you not What? Okay, so even like a ray trace bullet, you know, I don't know if it's like the OBS messing with, you know, game code or something, but I don't know what's going on here. Alright, Loretta, thank you so much for the company. It's very encouraging to allow us to keep doing what we do, and you know, just having, you know, people who share enthusiasm with this project makes us feel not so lonely. So thank you. Alright, so I don't know what's going on with this. Could be... That's so odd. I don't know what's going on here.
there. So how's your day today? I'm having a really good day. Friday. I'm gonna be back on around 8 tonight. And we're gonna play some Nelo. I'm just working on this difficulty icon. It goes pretty entertaining. Hope I can be heard. Can you hear me okay?
I run the standalone. Ah, this is so annoying.
Did you say something, Matt?
Oh, I don't know why, like, the game logic's not working, or like the SMG's not firing its weapons and the rocket launcher's not calling its projectile from the actor pool. Ooh. Interesting.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
You want to cut it a little short and play some right now?
No.
No? Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. So, right.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna close that. Compile from here again, and run a standalone game.
So, something like when you finish the first act. I wonder if anybody has gotten that far yet. I'm pretty sure there is.
Oh, Loretta, I'm so sorry. Sorry to leave you hanging. To answer your question, Nelo's in his late 30s.
I thought he was 400. He was 400.
Apparently he's 400. But yeah, and then Jamar is like only a couple years younger than him. He sounds young because he's healthy. He doesn't smoke cigarettes.
There we go. Good answer.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can do this with this channel, but Deadly Frog, she's gonna be like streaming other games this weekend, tomorrow. So like if you want to kind of watch her play other games, or like kind of games that either fans recommend or games that inspire us, you know, ourselves, you can definitely take a look at that. Go away, email. So yeah. Just realized this build was done. Totally got lost in thought.
Rather get lost in thought than lost in space.
Yeah, man.
No? Okay. I liked mushrooms with smiley faces.
Have a good one, Loretta.
Who wants to eat the mushroom? Ribbit. Ribbit.
Why did I do this? Stand alone, Matt. An autopilot.
What's next? What's next on the... Who's next on the list? Big Santa Claus.
This is so odd.
Here's my lips. But here's something cooler. Mushroom. Mushroom says hi. And squishes. Squish. Squish. Squish.
I bet you once I turn off all the stream, or once I turn off the stream, everything's gonna work. Well, it's 6 minutes till 6, so I thought I wanted to have this a little bit longer, but I'm having some issues, so I'm gonna try to figure this out while I'm offline, and then at 8 o'clock. I don't know if that was affecting my performance, so let me repeat that again. So I'm having some technical issues with this. I don't know if it's the stream. I don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna have to basically stick to the original plan at cutting off the stream at 6 p.m. and we're going to start the stream again at 8 p.m. and we're gonna be testing some multiplayer.
Alright.
We'll probably be doing some offline testing of the multiplayer first, just to kind of see how OBS affects this. I don't know if it's something that we're doing, but this is my first time ever streaming, so I don't know. It does look like OBS does use a lot of CPU.
So go ahead and come
so
back and join me. Come say hi.
and I don't know how much of that affects how the game actually performs
promise.
on our machines. So I'm gonna be logging out now. Please come back at 8 p.m. if you want to see us test some multiplayer.
Amazing.
I don't really expect much to really work.
And I love you guys.
But you know, if you're really kind of curious of what we'll be doing,
okay?
you know, it wouldn't hurt to take a peek. So anyway, thank you everyone so much for participating with this stream. Thank you for asking questions, giving feedback. You guys are excellent. And so yeah, we make this game for us as much as we make it for you, or I should say it the other way around, but yeah, we definitely want you guys to love this game. So we'll come back at 8 o'clock, and so stay tuned. Thank you. Peace.